Revelio. Do you want to win this Harry Potter themed mystery box? Stick around to the end of the video to know how. The Man Without Fear is officially part of the MCU, but here's why Daredevil should also get a spot in the Avengers. Hi, I'm Kieran at Raw Review, and Daredevil has been roughing up the minor leagues since his introduction in 2015. Don't get me wrong, Daredevil can definitely tussle with the best of them, but there are questions about where Charlie Cox's Daredevil will fit in the MCU. So far, with his cameos in Spider-Man No Way Home and his guest spot on She-Hulk, he's done pretty well blending in with the roster. Marvel Studios have also announced an upcoming Disney Plus series, Daredevil Born Again, which will be loosely connected to the original Netflix series. It's great to have Daredevil officially enter the MCU, but the Man Without Fear deserves a call up to the big team. That's right, Daredevil should definitely join the Avengers or maybe even lead them. The Avengers are in a state of uncertainty at this point and key members are gone. Steve Rogers, Iron Man, Black Widow have all exited the MCU. There are still some great heavy hitter characters left to fill out the ranks as well as newcomers to the franchise. But the team is running thin on marquee Marvel characters. Heroes who have been with the brand for generations. Daredevil has been terrorizing thugs in alleyways and Kingpin's high and rises since 1964. He's been a senior figure in Marvel even though his series wasn't officially under the Disney Marvel umbrella. So let's break this down on why Daredevil deserves to be in the Avengers. Daredevil typically operates as a lone wolf in most of the time in the Netflix series. Sure, he has his allies, but genuinely he goes in alone. That all changed when he teamed up with Elektra in Season 2 of Daredevil, and of course he headed up the Defenders. The Netflix take on the Avengers formula brought together Daredevil and other solo series stars Jessica Jones, Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Daredevil was the unofficial leader of the group as they took on hordes of ninjas and undead enemies yet again to save New York and the world. Daredevil would be a valuable addition to the Avengers, and a solid replacement for the do what's right for the group style of the departed Steve Rogers. Rogers' moral compass was at the heart of the original Avengers lineup, and Daredevil's moral struggle is with his own moral code. Bringing in a flawed, darker version of the original Captain America would bring a dynamic to the Avengers that we haven't seen before. Cap didn't have the back and forth pull between the darkness and the light to contend with. He was a consummate Boy Scout, always doing the right thing without question or hesitation. Whereas Daredevil is constantly walking a very fine line between right and wrong. Now I know what you're probably thinking, he doesn't have any powers. He does, but they don't really fall into the superhero category. He's an elite hand-to-hand fighter and has heightened senses. But in the end, power-wise, he's a slight upgrade from Hawkeye. High percentile fighting ability and a set of billy clubs are more than enough to meet the Hawkeye standard. Daredevil's acute senses of hearing, smell and touch make him a tick higher than the average powerless Avenger. The complete package makes him more than a worthy addition to a team full of super strength, flyers and spiderlings. Probably Daredevil's best and most important ability is his power of will. Daredevil has that can do it all day energy. He fights through anything and everything, and that's a much needed trait when it comes to avenging. As the MCU is kinda taking its foot off the pedal and we've got such a long wait until the next Avengers movie, it gives us time to assess and figure out who is actually going to be in that Avengers movie. And I can genuinely see Daredevil leading the Avengers when it comes to that time. The guy has a conscience driven by his Catholic uprising, a great sense of morals, and devotion to the law unparalleled to no one. And while I must add, Daredevil is no stranger to team-ups in the comics. While he originally denied joining the New Avengers in 2004, the character eventually accepted the position later on. The New Avengers were mainly a team of street-level heroes facing the kind of menaces the big hitters couldn't tackle. Daredevil held his own in a group that included Doctor Strange, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Hawkeye and Mockingbird. Daredevil also led an unofficial team of street-level heroes called the Marvel Knights. So like I said, he can be a team player. There's currently an influx of street-level heroes entering the stage in the MCU telling more grounded stories. We still have characters like Shang-Chi, Echo, Sam Wilson and Hawkeye still around, loaded and ready to fight any menace that affects the ordinary citizen. There's no telling who else will come along once Daredevil Born Again premieres in the near future. It's already been confirmed that the Punisher will return, and it will be nice to see Luke Cage and Jessica Jones return as well. Even better if the MCU dared to introduce the family dynamic between these two characters. And then we have Iron Fist. Yeah. The Avengers are mostly casually superhuman. They don't need to dig deep or show a dark side because they can casually stop a runaway bus with their bare hands or fly through the air. Their powers don't require as much effort or determination as someone like Daredevil. A little bit of grit on the Avengers will go a long way and bring a character to the roster that can easily stand out from the rest. But sure, Daredevil has the heightened senses and the ability of an Olympic gymnast. He can hear you coming from a mile away and pick up your scent out of a crowd of hundreds. Not anything to sneeze at. But when it comes down to melee, he relies on sheer force and will to fight through the hordes of enemies the Avengers inevitably face. Tell me if I'm wrong, but Daredevil would have fit perfectly in the chaos of the Chitauri invasion in Avengers 1. I could see him kicking robot arse in Age of Ultron, and he definitely would have held his own in the Outrider brawls of Infinity War and Endgame. Yes, he would have had his work cut out for him, but didn't they all? He would have prevailed thanks to his skills and will. The Avengers are typically seen as Marvel's answer to DC's Justice League. Both are teams of superheroes from various other titles who come together to fight the greatest threats. Yet for a long time in the comics, the Avengers was a team book of characters the company didn't know what to do with. You had mainstays like Captain America, Iron Man and Thor, but until recently, these were not the biggest names of Marvel. With 2005's New Avengers, Marvel looked to beef up the roster with some of Marvel's biggest names like Spider-Man and Wolverine. Now thanks to the MCU and the newfound popularity of the characters, the Avengers are the team of Marvel's biggest and best names. In the MCU, while there are still some big named characters like Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel that are dealing with other threats in the universe. Even though there's not really any big names in the Avengers as a brand is still a big deal. But one way to captivate viewers and show that this is a different team is to bring in new faces. She-Hulk, Shang-Chi and Moon Knight certainly would be big additions. Yet with how long Daredevil has been around in the comics and in the public eye, being a part of the Avengers would show this is the team for the biggest names in Marvel. But sadly, we are years off from knowing who will comprise the next iteration of the Avengers. Between the intervening new series and movies, there will be plenty to choose from to fill out the team. I personally would pencil in Daredevil as an Avenger without hesitation. But let me know in the comments below, would you like to see Daredevil as an Avenger? And if you want to win this magical Harry Potter themed mystery box, all you need to do are these 3 simple things. Number 1, leave a like on this video. Number 2, leave a comment on any of my videos. It could be just as simple as a heart emoji. And number 3 is the most important, make sure you are subscribed. And one lucky random subscriber will be announced on the 30th of September. You can even hit that bell icon to keep up to date with my latest uploads and giveaways, such as my comic book giveaways every fortnight. And just before I go, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. It's just a minor thing from you and it really helps this channel grow. So with all of that being said, I will see you in the next one, but until then, take care.